Looks like you're better at running your mouth than staying on your feet. Karma's a bitch, huh?
Joy, why are you so mean to me? Throwing shade on me in front of Mrs. Reynolds? That is so not cool. No.
Apologize. Right now.
I didn't do anything wrong.
Still acting tough? Fine. If words don't work, maybe this will.
After I lost my parents in an accident, the Reynolds family took me in. I grew up with Gavin and Elliot. They adored me, made me feel like I belonged. I always thought one day I'd marry one of them. Until her.
Megan, you deserve nothing but the best.
This is incredible. Oh, I love it. Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
That was the moment I realized I was just a girl, lost in a foolish dream.
Happy birthday, Joy.
Joy, come join us. Go to hell, bitch.
Joy! Really, Joy? Faking a collapse just to ruin Megan's birthday?
Megan cried all night because of you. So get dressed and apologize.
She pushed me down the stairs, and I'm the one who has to apologize? I mean, you didn't even ask me if I'm hurt. Do you even remember that today is my birthday too?
Save it. Quit playing the victim. We've seen through your act for years. What? He's barely a scratch. It's not like you're dying.
Megan is the maid's daughter. She never had a real birthday. You had everything, yet you still treat her like shit. You know, she may not have grown up like us, but she's real. I used to think you were too.
No, you really think that I'm faking this?
But a gold digger like you? Yeah. You'd do anything. Or are you still clinging to that little dream of becoming Mrs. Reynolds? This is the girl we love, and not you.
When someone's jealousy ruins your night, but real love shines bright.
Hey, that's us! That's us, baby! Woo!
That's my bedroom. How could you?
Oh, it's Megan. Let's go.
You brought this on yourself, Joy. It's no wonder nobody loves you.
Pathetic.
So this is it. All these years. All these promises. Shattered for a stranger. Fine. Fine.
Joy?
Mrs. Harrington. I've made my decision. I'll marry your grandson.
Oh, darling, that's wonderful news. Oh, Nathan will be thrilled to have you. But I thought you were still close to those Reynolds boys.
No, not anymore. I'm leaving.
Oh, honey, don't cry. Nathan is kind, handsome, and loyal. Everything those Reynolds boys could never be. And you've always been his dream girl. Sit tight. He'll come for you in 3 days.
Thank you.
Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Joy, I didn't see you there. I was just watering my hydrangeas.
Wait, you tore up my daisies? Who said that you could touch my garden?
Honey, you don't get it, do you? Nothing here ever belonged to you. The boys, they're so easy to manipulate. Honestly, I'm getting kind of bored. You know, I could probably plant weeds on your parents' graves and they'd still call it art.
You should watch your mouth.
Oh my god, Joy! Please, don't hit me. I just thought the hydrangeas were pretty. I'm so sorry. I
Hey.
just like the hydrangeas.
That's enough! Megan wanted a hydrangea garden, so I had your daisies pulled. They were outdated anyways.
One day, we'll fill this whole garden with your favorite daisies. Promise.
Promise.
Get rid of this junk. All of it.
My daisies. Our daisies.
Jesus. Joy, drop the act, okay? Apologize to Megan or get the hell out. Let's see who will marry you without our name.
Joy, darling, I just confirmed everything for the 24th. I'm so excited you married my grandson.
Marrying who? Wait, who was that?
Probably some actor she paid to get our attention. God, you're really this desperate now, Joy? Pathetic doesn't even cover it.
So that's really what you think of me now? No matter what I say, you're just going to twist it around into some lie. Fine. I'll get out of your sight. I'm gonna go to my bedroom.
Oh, Joy, I'm so sorry. You know how bad my dust allergy is. Well, I guess your room was the cleanest, which was surprising, and so I moved in. I hope you don't mind I threw out all your junk.
Wait, you went through my things? Where's Bear? Where's... Bear! Honey, are you okay? Are you okay? Mommy's here. It's okay, it's okay. Did they hurt you?
Oh my god! I'm so sorry, Joy. I didn't realize that he was there. He's just so tiny. I'm sorry, Joy.
Not your fault, Meg. It's just a pet.
Just a pet? He's our family. You said it when you gave him to me on my 15th birthday.
From now on, you'll be living in the maid's quarters. Consider it a chance to reflect on everything you've done. You're lucky we're even giving you a roof.
Keep your roof. I'm leaving.
Leaving? With what, pocket change? Every cent you have comes from Reynolds. You got nowhere to go but the streets. Ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Get in this, man. Hey!
Kevin, Elliot, I want a photo like that with just the three of us.
Don't worry, we'll do that.
Yeah, we'll get one.
Okay.
Wait. Joy, where are you going? Joy!
This used to mean something. Not anymore.
The sky is heavy, full of grief. The wind it howls, no relief. If time could heal, I wouldn't know.
Joy, what the hell are you doing? Joy, what the hell are you doing?
Are you insane?
I'm just taking out the trash.
Trash? You just torched our past. We gave you everything. And what? Everything's all just meaningless to you now?
You've made it clear that I was just a parasite feeding on your generosity. This ring? This jacket? This necklace? All of your precious crap.
What are you doing?
So now I owe you nothing.
You've crossed the fucking line, Joy. Don't expect forgiveness this time.
Gavin, don't let her ruin our day. You promised you'd take me stargazing tonight. Can we just go now? Pretty please.
Wait, you brought her to the secret base?
We got a big surprise. Okay, whoa. Hey, easy. Okay, sit down.
Ready?
Okay.
Here?
Keep them close, keep them close.
Okay.
Open.
Oh my God.
We built it just for you. A place where nobody can reach you. Except the stars.
You see the moon?
Yeah.
That's you. You're one and only.
I thought that was my base. My safe place.
Maybe was just curious.
It's just a damn treehouse. What is the big deal?
Right. You must forgot that everything here has an expiration date. Including me.
Joy, this stuff.
Joy, why are you so upset? Did I do something wrong? Or are you just jealous?
Let go. Let go of me.
Help!
Megan! Megan!
No.
Did she hurt you? Where
She hit my head. Do you really hate me that much?
You are so ungrateful. We pulled you up out of the gutter, and this is what you give us in return?
I didn't do anything!
Jesus Christ. Ellie.
Joy. Oh, shit, you're bleeding. Ellie didn't mean to hit you like that.
Are you satisfied now?
Look, we all got carried away, right? let's just all calm down, all right? I'll get you that pecan pie that you love so much, and we'll make up. Everything will be fine, all right?
Pecan. Really?
Yeah.
They don't even remember I'm allergic to pecans. I nearly died. Twice.
Joy.
Oh, come on! What, that act again? Let's go.
Elliot, just...
When you're not the one they love, you're invisible. Don't worry, Gavin. Elliot. Only 2 days left. And then I'm gone. For good.
You just got out, not long ago. Now this? Are you sure you don't want me to call someone?
No. There's no need. It'll be the last time.
I'll write you a prescription. Take it on time. I'll be right back.
Thank you. Hello?
Joy, darling, I just sent some wedding gown options. Tell me which one you love.
They're all really beautiful. Thank you so much, Mrs. Harrington. I'll be sure to take a really good look.
Perfect. And just so you know, Nathan had each dress tailor-made just for you. That boy's been obsessed with making this perfect.
Thank you. If I'm leaving for the Harringtons, I have to tell Aunt Mary. She always treats me like family.
Joy, you've lost so much weight, honey. Your mother was my best friend, and I promised her I would protect you. Look at you now.
No, you always made me feel that I was welcome here. I'm never gonna forget that. But sometimes we just have to say our goodbyes.
I always hoped that you would marry one of my sons. God knows they don't deserve you.
Miss Joy, Mrs. Reynolds is going to miss you dearly. And so will I.
Oh, no, it's okay. I'll miss you too.
Sweetheart, I'm so sorry I cannot be at your wedding. The trip with my health. But please, accept this. It's $5 million. It's for your wedding.
What wedding? What wedding?
Mom, what wedding are you talking about?
Joy's.
Oh, Joy, what crap are you selling Mom this time?
Mom, don't believe a word she says. We only proposed to Megan because we wanted to keep her happy. I mean, it's not like it was serious.
Proposed to whom?
Mrs. Reynolds. Joy. I never intended to steal Elliot or Gavin. I mean, we're family, right?
Family. After everything you've done to humiliate Joy, no matter how well you play the part, you will never be a Reynolds.
I just want to belong.
Come on, Mom. Megan is such a sweet girl. She's like a sister to us. And Joy, she never really cared about us. It's always been about the money.
Oh, I have raised 2 idiots that can't even spot a snake in their own house.
Mom, don't let Joy twist things. She is manipulating.
Oh, enough! Now get out! Both of you! And take the stray with you!
But Mom, come on, that is not fair.
One more word, Elliot. And you are out of the Reynolds Corporation. And you too.
What?
Yeah. Try me.
This isn't over.
Looks like you're better at running your mouth than staying on your feet. Karma's a bitch, huh?
Joy, why are you so mean to me? Throwing shade on me in front of Mrs. Reynolds? That is so not cool.
No!
Apologize. Right now.
Didn't do anything wrong.
Still acting tough? Fine. If words don't work, maybe this will. Lick her shoes! Beg like you mean it!
Over my dead body.
We'll see about that. Maybe next time you'll think twice about crossing Megan. Now let's try again, Say you're sorry.
Wait, hey, Elliot, that's enough. I think Megan wanted to go shopping, right? Maybe we should just go do that, huh?
This is what you get for bullying Megan. And next time, I won't be so gentle. Come on. Let's go get you something nice.
20 years. This is how it ends. One more day, and then I'll disappear from your lives.
You're lucky someone got you here in time. Sprain's not too bad. But seriously, you're back in 24 hours? Listen, I'm sure you need some help. I'm going to call the cops.
No, please, just believe me, this is gonna be the last time. Because tomorrow, I'm leaving the Reynolds. For good.
Joy, darling. I heard about your little tumble. Well, I had to come see you, and look, I brought your favorite, lilies.
Lilies, no, Megan, you know that I'm allergic to lilies. Can you get them away from me, please?
Oh gosh, no, I totally forgot. Well, I picked these just for you. Aren't they pretty? You know, it would be a shame if you had an asthma attack and choked, wouldn't it? You know, I wonder what Gavin and Elliot would think if you died. Do you think they'd even cry at your funeral?
Wait, my inhaler, please.
Oh, your inhaler? You want this? Beg for it. Get on your hands and knees and beg me for it.
What the fuck is going on here? Megan, are you okay?
I just tried to bring her flowers. I don't understand. I picked these flowers for her to cheer her up, and she thinks I'm a monster.
Move! Come on. Okay? Real classy, Joy. Megan tries to be nice to you, and this is how you act? You're fucking pathetic, you know that? Those lilies, Megan planted every one of them by herself. She cut her hands picking them just for you. And you got the audacity to not even say thank you? You've changed, Joy. I barely even recognize you anymore.
You really think that I'm the one who's changed? You know that lilies trigger my asthma attacks. And she brought them anyway. Because she's not trying to comfort me. She's trying to kill me.
I'm sorry, Joy. I didn't know you were allergic. I made you sick.
It's okay, Gavin. I'm okay.
I swear, no lilies near you ever again.
You promise? Now you're just defending her like it never even happened.
Megan, she didn't know about your allergies. All right, Joy, you're overthinking like you always do. You know that?
Hey, this isn't a circus. I need all non-medical personnel to leave. Now.
Mrs. Harrington?
Joy, darling, guess what? Nathan can't wait any longer. He's coming by tonight to pick you up. Better start packing.
Tonight?
Whoa, hey! Look who crawled out of the hospital. Man, you really can't resist this place, can you?
Relax. I'm not gonna be here long.
Aw, she looked kind of pale. Maybe I should bring her some of our creme brulee to cheer her up?
You ready to get out of this hellhole, buddy? Yeah, me too, me too.
Oh, look, you're already packing. Adorable. Guess you won't be needing this. Don't come slithering back once you realize no one wants you.
They're gonna see through your mask sooner or later, Megan. And when you fall, I'll be there to watch you burn.
You smug little bitch. Get this freaking rat away from me.
Bear!
What the fuck is going on?
The dog. It tried to bite me. I mean, I think it has rabies or something. It just attacked me out of nowhere.
He's lying.
That's enough. It's just a damn dog. If it dies, you can buy a new one.
Joy, I think we could all agree you're being a little bit dramatic, huh? I think it's best if you go. And don't take anything that's ours. Let's go.
Like, Jesus.
That's enough!
You brought this on yourself, Joy. It's no wonder nobody loves you.
A symphony of what we lost. Broken raindrops falling slow.
Are you?
I'm your fiance. I'm here to take you home.
Why'd you let go? They won't let me go.
Maybe we were too harsh.
No, wait, man, she deserved to be taught a lesson. A night out in the rain, put her in her place.
Joy?
What are you talking about?
I'm telling you, it's Joy. I saw some guy pick her up and carry her into the car. And it looked like the Harrington convoy.
What? No, you were telling me that the Harringtons came here in the storm for Joy. Man, you are imagining this.
Maybe.
So, this is my future husband?
How are you doing? You almost passed out back there. When's the last time we had something to eat?
I kind of skipped lunch. Everything happened really fast.
Would you like a snack? Don't worry, we made sure there's no pecans.
Wait, how did you know that I'm allergic to pecans?
I know a lot more than you think, Joy. For the record, this isn't the first time we met. But don't worry. You have plenty of time to catch up.
On the Jumbotron?
That's crazy.
Yeah, he's like the
Yo.
CEO.
Hey,
What's up?
What?
has anyone heard from Joy? She kind of fell off the grid since that night.
Nope. Maybe she finally took the hint and disappeared.
Oh, last we saw her, she was getting in a car with a random guy. So maybe she has a new sugar daddy.
No way. No, she's trouble. And if she is out there dragging our name through the mud, we need to get ahead of it.
Breaking news, Nathan Harrington, CEO of the $400 billion Harrington Financial Group, has announced his engagement to Joy Bennett. Details remain tightly guarded.
What the hell? Joy? Joy with Nathan Harrington?
No. It's not possible. The Harringtons only marry, like, heiresses and supermodels. And Joy's, well, Joy. Although, I'm sure she has some charm hidden somewhere.
No, Megan's right. It's got to be another Joy. Because our Joy? Oh, she's not even in the same league.
Your afternoon tea, sir.
Oh, what is this crap? Would you forget sugar and mix in dirt?
My apologies, sir.
Miss Joy always prepared it herself, and she said you have very particular taste. We tried our best to replicate it.
Whatever. I didn't even ask Joy to do that. Seriously though, Joy, where the hell are you?
Wait. Maybe she left something in her room.
Oh, please, that dump? What could she possibly...
Nobody asked you, Meg. Why don't you do your job and clean for once?
Let's just check it out, okay?
Come on, let's go.
Joy, where did you go?
She ditched us, huh? That's real tough. Clean us out on our way out.
This 10 million covers everything I owe you. Add Aunt Mary's 5, we're even.
She paid it all back?
Where did she even get that kind of money?
And you just dumped it. That's not like her. You remember when she tried cracking into the safe?
Why would you steal the necklace, Joy? I know you're desperate, but breaking into the safe, really?
What's going on?
Help! No!
Megan! Megan!
Come here, I got you.
Megan, I got you.
Come here.
It's okay.
I can't
It's okay.
We got you.
Come on.
Come on. Easy with it. You okay? You okay? Come here. You okay? You okay? Oh, no. Oh, you good?
She stole a necklace and she tried to drown me. No, that's not what happened.
You steal, and then you push Megan in, and now you're trying to act like the victim?
No, I did
You're lucky she's fine. If she would have been hurt, you would have regretted it the rest of your life.
Let's go. Come on.
Megan was right. Joy's just a gold digger. Whoever picked her up in that car today, that's where the money's coming from.
Joy?
Mr. Reynolds, your mother hired me to look after Joy. Now that she's gone, my work is done.
Oh, gone? Who says she's gone? No, she's just throwing a tantrum. She'll be back by dinner.
You really don't know? Miss Joy is getting married. She invited me to the wedding.
Married?
Come on, Miss Carter, I get it. You enjoy her close, but don't let her drag you into these made-up fantasies.
Yeah, I mean, she's been sucking up to us for years. This wedding thing, it's probably another one of her game.
Look, I may be old, but I'm not blind. That girl has a heart of gold, and you two just don't see it.
That was when we were kids. Now she's stealing, or worse, who knows what she's up to?
You three were inseparable when you were young. And then Megan arrived and poisoned everything. How did it come to this?
You weren't there, all right? If you had been, trust me, you would not be defending her right now.
Oh, I saw plenty. Megan is playing both of you like puppets. If you don't believe me, go and take a look for yourself.
Hey, Carter's always been Team Joy. Let's just wait. She'll come crawling back. They always do. Shh.
Miss Carter, how much do you know about Joy?
Mr. Reynolds, do you even remember what Joy was like when she got here?
Oh, Joy. You don't have to do that, sweetheart.
Ma'am, I'm very good at cleaning. I could do all the housework. I will behave, I promise. Please, please don't send me back.
Oh, never, never. Sweetheart, you're burning up. Why didn't you tell me you were sick?
It's okay, Aunt Mary. Didn't want to be a bother. I got some meds. I can take care of myself.
Oh, you're precious.
Miss Joy never cared about your money. All she ever wanted was a family. You want the truth. Go to her room. She left everything there for you to find.
Why would you steal the necklace, Joy? I didn't steal anything. You did. If we were both drowning, who do you think they'd save? The golden princess or the poor maid's daughter? What? No!
What's going on?
Help! No!
You messed up. Joey, where are you? Hey!
Oh, hey, what the
Hey,
man?
no time to explain. Everything is a lie. Everything is a fucking lie!
What? Mom!
Mom, we were wrong about Joy. We screwed up. I need to get her back. You gotta tell me where she is.
You don't go near Joy ever again.
Mom, please. I need to find her. I gotta talk to her. I gotta make this right.
Really? So now you care. Funny. I thought you were all wrapped up into that witch.
Mom, you can't talk about Megan like that. It's Joy the one who's been twisting everything. Megan...
You ungrateful idiot. Have you forgotten everything that Joy has done for you?
Are you hurt? Don't cry. I'll tell Aunt Mary I did it. You'll be fine. I promise.
Sweetheart, you don't have to take the blame. I know it was Elliot.
It's not him. Please punish me and don't be mad at him.
And you! You promised her in front of me. That is for breaking your word.
One day I'm gonna marry you. If I ever break that promise, I swear to
No,
God.
I trust you. That's enough.
Yeah. I messed up. I know I did. But Mom, please. You need to tell us where she is. I need to get her back. Please, Mom. Mom, please just tell me where she is. We need to make it right.
Thank you.
Here. Let me help you.
Oh.
Are you okay?
Yeah, thanks.
Welcome home, Miss Joy.
Joy. From now on, this is your home. You okay?
Yeah, thank you. Oh my gosh! Bear! You're here! What? Oh! Hey! What are they feeding you? Gold truffle? You smell so good.
Thank you so much for taking care of Bear. He's all I have left right now, so I really can't imagine if something happened. Sorry, do you have something on my face?
No, sorry, I just a little jealous of Bear.
Oh, God. Is he about to kiss me?
I'm sorry, I don't want to pressure you. I know that you've been hung up on the Reynolds boys for a long time, so.
What? No.
Well. Looks like the honeymoon is already in full swing.
Here.
Oh, thank you.
Hi, buddy.
Darling, you have no idea how long I've been waiting for this. I didn't know what you liked, so I just bought everything.
This is all for me?
Oh, it's just a little welcome. Nothing flashy. We'll take it all up to your room. But this is a family heirloom. Passed down to every bride for generations. Let's get you into this dress now. You're gonna love it.
Oh, Bear. I am in trouble. Oh my God. Miss Bennett, you look unreal. This gown Mr. Harrington handpicked? Absolute perfection.
Nathan picked it out for me. Aunt Mary.
Joy, Gavin and Elliot are coming for you. I tried to stop them, honey, but I am so sorry.
Joy! Joy! Are you really marrying him? Are you really marrying him?
Yes. As you see.
Come on, Nathan Harrington? You expect us to buy that? What is this? Another desperate attempt for attention?
Shut up, Elliot.
What? Dude, what the hell? You were just trashing her like 3 days ago.
Out of respect for Aunt Mary, I'm going to let you leave now. Or I'm going to call security.
Joy, please. I messed up. I was an idiot to fall for those lies, but you can't just, for Christ's sakes, marry some random guy. This isn't you.
It isn't random. It's the first real decision I've ever made.
Then choose me. Remember growing up together and we used to play house? And I was always your husband. I am.
Because he didn't just give me a roof. He gave me a home. No more guilt. No more lies. Ever since the two of you cast me out, I haven't lived for anybody else but myself. I have not lived for anyone but myself.
Jesus, Joy, are you still hung up on the Megan jealousy crap? Okay, fine. You win. Are you happy now? Now let's go home.
Wow. You really just do not get it, do you?
Shut the fuck up, Ellie. Just think for a second. Why would the Harringtons marry you? They could have anyone, any socialite in the fucking city. Why you?
I'm sorry, are you saying now that I'm not good enough?
No, that's not what I meant. I just mean that they're powerful, Joy. More than you'll ever know. What if they're using you? I just don't want to see you get hurt.
Using me. Gavin, that is all that I have ever been. A stray. A charity case, a bargaining chip. Do you really think that Nathan could hurt me any more than the two of you already have?
Well, screw this. You are coming home with us now.
Ellie, what? Ah! Ah! Elliot! Ow! Oh! You just hit me over her? Don't touch her again. I don't give a shit if you're my brother. I swear to God, I'll knock your teeth into the back of your fucking skull.
Are you serious? Bro, she is throwing away 20 years with us to marry some rando. I mean, she is a goddamn...
Hey! Say it again. I fucking dare you. Say it again. Megan is the one who played us, you fucking moron. Joy didn't betray us. We betrayed her. No, do you understand that? Hey, Elliot, I swear to God!
If you want to act like animals, then go do it at home. Stop ruining my dress fitting.
Wait.
Stop!
Listen to me, listen. Just listen to me 1 second. Don't punish yourself for our mistakes. We can make this better. I want to talk to you. I want to make this better. I want you to come home with us.
Let me go. Let me go.
I need you. Joy, I need you. I don't want to
Touch my wife again, and you'll lose my hand.
What the hell is this?
Elliot! Elliot! Oh.
You two don't get to talk too more. Or come near my wife. Ever again. I'm sorry I'm late.
No, it's perfect timing, actually.
Oh, come on, Joy. Who's this guy that you hired? Hmm? You still playing pretend?
I'd like to introduce you to my husband-to-be, Nathan Harrington.
Jesus Christ. This is bullshit. It's the Harrington crest. I read about it in Forbes upstairs. So what's the play, man? She's not some goddamn trophy wife you could just toss aside when you're done.
Joy, whatever he's selling you, he's lying to you.
Do you trust me?
Yeah.
That's all I need to hear.
Joy, is this it? There's no coming back from this.
Joy, are you leaving us?
Let's go home.
I get it. You married him for money, right? Because that's your game, isn't it? Look, don't be stupid, okay? She will drop you like a stray dog for the next fat wallet. Just wait.
Elliot! Oh. Elliot! Stop fucking hitting him!
One more word out of you. You'll be scraping your teeth off the floor.
Hey, Elliot! Stop! Hey!
Greedy. Fake. A gold digger. You've been calling me that for many years. But those aren't your words, right? They came from Megan.
I shouldn't have told you guys that Joy stole your mom's necklace. She probably hates me. Maybe she's right. I do belong in the trailer park.
No. Do not listen to her nonsense. I will make sure that she pays for this.
Come on, let's go.
I've lived in her shadow. Every accusation she made, you just swallowed whole. And tell me, in all of those years, did either of you ever once believe me?
Let's go.
No, wait, Joy, wait, don't go. Please don't go. Remember when we were younger? We used to have that beautiful daisy garden. I planted those daisies. They're all back there in every fucking corner in that place. Just, please.
I've been too generous. But that ends now. Throw them out of here!
Joy, please! And
make sure they never come near my wife again.
Hey, Joy, look at me!
Let go! I love you, Joy!
You'll regret this!
Joy.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That was messy and awful.
Joy. They should be the ones who should be ashamed, not you. Now, honestly, how was that kiss?
Well, it's tough to say. Nice doesn't even begin to cover it. And I don't just want that kiss. I want your last name and the vows. And maybe one day, a baby with your eyes.
Joy.
Happy birthday, Elliot.
You fucking gold digger! Ran away to Harrington as soon as you got the chance. How could you leave me like that?
There's a birthday delivery for you, Mr. Reynolds.
I said no visitors. Get out!
But it's from Miss Joy.
I knew it. I knew she couldn't stay away. This is her come crawling back, begging for forgiveness. I'll let it slide.
10 years, 10 gifts. This one's the last. Happy 25th. Jay.
What is this? She sent me a gift every year? Why didn't I know that?
Miss Joy always planned birthday surprises for you, but Miss Megan, she...
Where did she dump them? Spill it! Now!
Miss Megan ordered me to trash those gifts, but they seemed too precious. So I hid them all.
Oh, God. What have I done?
Remember our pickleball games? I really hope we get the chance to play again someday.
"18 looks good on you. Save me a dance, okay? Love, Jay." I know you probably still hate me. Here's the car we dreamed about at 15. Think we'll ever find our way back? Still love you, Jay.
Oh, God. I failed you, Joy. This time I've just swallowed lies and I've pushed you away. If I could just talk to you again, see your face, I'd do anything to fix this.
Took you long enough to figure out Megan was playing you, huh? Get up. I need to show you something.
Why would you steal the necklace, Joy? I know you're desperate, but breaking into the safe, really? I didn't steal anything. You did.
What the hell? I called her a thief. I said that she was nothing. I left her in the pool all day. Gavin, she's never gonna forgive me.
Mom was right. We were blind. And now Joy just sees us as strangers. That's on us. But there's something we could do to make it right. Get up, man. We can clear her name. We can make Megan pay.
Yeah, that woman is a snake. And she played us to screw over Joy. I'm gonna make her regret it. Yes, we will.
Guys, what's going on? You're acting so mysterious. What's the surprise?
Just a few more steps.
Okay.
You'll find out soon enough.
No peeking.
Okay.
Now, I remember you telling us that you can swim.
Oh God, no. I'm terrified of the water. I'd sink like a rock.
Good.
Help, you guys! You guys! What the hell, you guys? It scared me to death.
I thought you said you couldn't swim.
Well, Joy taught me. Yeah, and she made me promise not to tell you guys.
Still lying, huh?
No, she said that if she would act weak, that you guys would let her off for the necklace. I'm just the maid's daughter. Why would I lie to you guys? I was just doing what Joy told me to do.
You seriously don't know when to quit, do you? You recognize this? Been there since Joy was little. Mom was always worried that she was gonna drown. I guess you didn't really do your homework, did you?
Gavin, Elliot, please, you have to understand, I just wanted to do what's best for me, right? There's no crime in wanting a better life, right?
No. But stealing is. And almost drowning Joy to save your ass? You're disgusting.
No, Gavin, Elliot, please, you guys have to forgive me. I didn't mean it.
You want forgiveness? You'll be praying for that long after we're done with you.
Don't let her get out. If she tries, get creative.
No, I'm sorry, really, I mean it, I swear.
So he doesn't even begin to cut it. Not even a little. Let's go, bro.
No, you guys, please. No, you can't leave me here. Ugh.
Joy, can I come to your wedding? Please, I just want to see you one last time. What's wrong? Scared they're gonna ruin our big day? Let them come. Let them see what real love looks like up close. I mean, how else are they gonna know and realize what they lost? Right? Joy, after everything they did to you, it's their turn to feel it.
He really cares? But why? We barely knew each other before all this.
I know a lot more than you think, Joy. For the record, this isn't the first time we met.
Hey. That night you said that we met before. What did you mean?
Well, I guess you could say that I've known you a lot longer than they have.
What? No way. With a face like that. I think I would have remembered if I'd met you before.
Yeah, okay, but back then, I looked a little bit dorkier. You saved me, Joy. Back in elementary school, a bunch of bullies had me cornered. And then you showed up. Do you remember?
Catch up, Butterball! Can't even stand up without sweating buckets! Crybaby. Bet your parents ditched you because you're so embarrassing.
Hey! Knock it off! The teacher's coming!
Go.
Are you okay? Are you an angel?
Wait, that was you?
You've been my hero for a long time, Joy. My family moved us to LA after that summer. And by the time I got back, you were with the Reynolds. And honestly, you looked so happy that I didn't want to mess that up. But sometimes I wonder if I'd come back sooner, if I could have done something, helped you with your parents' company, kept you from that pain. Maybe then you could have lived the princess life that you were born to have. I'm sorry I wasn't there.
No. You're so silly. None of that was your fault.
I'm just glad that I have the opportunity now to fix it. I've waited for this, for you, for so long.
I just wanna go back home. Back to...
I'm not gonna let you go. Not ever again.
I just wanna go back home. Back to...
When you walk out there today, the whole world's gonna wish they were me.
Hey, Romeo. You're gonna get lipstick all over my veil.
Okay.
What are you...
You are so beautiful. And now, I won't mess up your veil.
The ceremony is in 5 minutes. Remember?
Fine. I'll be here.
Hmm.
But I'm counting down the seconds until tonight.
What?
I'll see you out there.
Can't believe I get to marry him. Maybe fairy tales really do come true.
Joy, I'm begging you, please. You have to forgive me. Tell them to stop. Gavin and Elliot, please, they've gone too far. You have to tell them to stop, please.
Megan, what are you doing here?
Look, I'm sorry, okay? I shouldn't have tried to steal your life, but look at me. I have nothing now. What am I gonna do? Please, you have to help me. Tell them to stop, please. They're taunting me.
Funny. You spent so many years trying to steal everything from me. And get the boys on your side? Congrats, Megan. You got what you wanted. How does it feel?
No, I screwed up, okay? I'm sorry, please. You have to help me, Joy.
You've made your choices. Now you have to deal with the consequences. Good luck.
No. If I'm going down, I'm taking you with me, Joy.
This wedding is stunning. Marrying a Harrington? It must be one lucky bride.
Right? I mean, who is this Bennett girl anyways? She must have done something epic to snag Nathan Harrington.
Holy hell, she's glowing.
Okay, yeah. I get it. That is the face who can make a billionaire fall head over heels.
Oh, I think you're supposed to wait up there.
No chance. I'm never letting you walk alone again. Besides, we have a very special escort today.
What?
Oh my gosh! Bear! You look amazing. Good boy.
Are you ready, Mrs. Harrington?
Well, if nobody objects to adorable dogs at weddings, we are gathered here today to celebrate the union of lovers.
Joy! Don't bury him! Joy, we messed up. Megan played us. She spun all those lies. We didn't mean to hurt you. Just give us another chance to fix this.
Joy, I never loved her. I never loved her. I don't know. I thought that if I did that, that you would love me more. God, I'm such a fucking idiot.
There were a million ways that you could have gone about that, and you chose the one that cut the deepest.
Joy, we are so sorry. Okay, we love you. We love you so much. And that is how Megan got into our heads. She spun our feelings and turned them into her own little game.
It's better Joy than Megan tricked us shit. Yeah, sure. Megan's poisoned. But you two handed her the knife. You two did the killing.
You don't get it, Harrington! You don't know what we had with Joy!
I know enough. I know that when a man loves a woman, he doesn't shove another one in her face and call it loyalty. You two fucked up. Now deal with it.
Joy, that's not how it went down. Give me 5 minutes and I'm gonna explain everything.
I spent so many years trusting you, believing that you both had my back. And you know what hit me? Maybe I was never really in love with you.
What? No.
I think that I used to feel something for you. But love? No, you don't get to call it that. Because real love does not make a person doubt their own worth.
Joy, this is not...
And then I met him. Somehow. Who at 8 years old believed the little girl that I was would grow into someone wonderful. And that's what his love is like. Ridiculous. Unconditional.
Joey, 20 years, come on. That's gotta stand for something. I know you better than anyone.
Joy, what we had was real. Okay, we can fix this. I'll rebuild the stargazing deck. I'll do anything that you want, just please.
Elliot, grow up. You aren't a kid anymore. So at least have the guts to walk out of here like a man.
If you two are really here for Joy, then sit down and respect this moment. Otherwise, I'll kick you both out myself.
I have everything that I need. A real home and a real man.
Burn in hell, bitch! Burn in hell, bitch! You don't get to win, not after everything you've done.
Get her out of here.
Shut up! Stop acting like her savior. You're nothing but a fucking rich asshole!
Megan, don't!
Oh my god! Gavin! Oh my god! Oh.
did something right, huh?
Hey, Gavin.
Someone call an ambulance! Now!
How is my son?
We got the bleeding under control. He's stable for now, but he's not out of the woods. Any emotional stress could set him back. He needs absolute calm. No shocks, no pressure.
I'm so sorry, Aunt Mary. This is my fault.
No, sweetheart. I know what happened. This isn't on you. Gavin made his choices, and now he's living with the consequences. Joy, I have no right to ask you this, but you may be the only one that he reaches out to. Can you just please stay? Just stay with him, just for now. Please. Oh, honey, I'm not asking you to take him back. I just mean, please don't shut him out completely. Not when he needs you the most.
I guess it's too late now, isn't it? Maybe if none of this had happened, then we might have had a chance.
Joy.
How do you feel? Let me go get a doctor.
No, I don't want to see anybody else. I took a knife for you. I didn't think. I just moved. So tell me, Joy. Is there any part of you that could still forgive me?
I'm in a good place now, Gavin. Why would I go back to that nightmare? You saved me once, and I promise that I'm never going to forget it. But whatever we once had, it's not there anymore. So we should at least walk away from this with some dignity.
Gabby, you're awake. Are you okay?
Take care of him, Elliot.
Hey,
Hi.
how's everything at the hospital? Is Gavin gonna be okay?
Yeah, he's gonna be fine.
Good.
All I want right now is a nice candlelit dinner with the man of my heart.
Now you keep talking like that, and dinner might have to wait.
Hey, Joy, what's going on? Are you okay? Joy, are you pregnant?
Great grandbaby! I'm gonna be great grandma!
The doctor says I'm about a month along. So it happened a little sooner than I was expecting. I've always been on my own. Now I have you. And I have this little one. It's like a dream.
This is the best news! You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna have a party!
That's a good idea.
Mom, Dad, you see this? I'm gonna be a mom. I miss you so much.
All right, lovebirds. It's time to take a bite of this mystery.
You ready?
Yeah. Oh my god! It's a girl! We're having a girl! Wait.
Twins! You got one of each!
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Joy. Joy. We're having twins.
Oh my god.
Joy. I thought I already loved you as much as I possibly could have. You just gave me 2 more reasons to prove me wrong. I have one more surprise for you.
What? What could possibly top this? Nathan, where are we going?
There's another few moments. We're almost there.
Okay.
Okay. 3, 2, 1. Do you see that star? Third from the left, just above Orion.
Mm-hmm.
I bought it. For you.
You bought me a star?
It's yours. Registered and named Joy. So from now on, every time you look up into the sky, you have a little piece of forever always shining just for you.
You're impossible.
Joy! Come out, we need to talk. Joy, please. Just hear us out. We messed up terribly. But we've changed, we swear. We redid your room, Daisy's. We got a new doghouse just for Bear. We just want you to come home. We miss you, and we need you. We'll spend the rest of our life making up for this. Just please come home.
Let's go. Our babies need rest.
Anything for you.
She still hates us, doesn't she?
No. She doesn't hate us. She just doesn't care.